Sports Sunday right here on 1080 The Fan, the Odyssey app, YouTube Live, and on Twitch for the kids. Joe Fisher, Rashad Taylor across the faux marble table, and Jordan Schultz across the glass on the ones and twos right now, laying down this beat thick. How we doing this morning, boys?
What up, fellas?
What up? How we doing?
Man, we chilling.
Doing good?
It's Sunday.
Just chilling?
Yeah, man.
I am.
Yeah, it's a gloomy Sunday.
For now.
You know,
hopefully.
yesterday was fantastic weather-wise. I spent the majority of the day, got up there around 12:30ish up at Kelly Point Park.
Ooh.
Yeah, did some paddle boarding.
Look at you venturing to the north.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, North Side.
Deep
I'm
north.
a staple in the North Side. They know.
They
me
know you
around
over there?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, they don't at all. The last time I went to Kelly Point Park was probably 12, 13 years ago when they had the Portland Marijuana Festival. They used to have
Oh,
up there.
Yeah.
I remember that.
When weed was cool and illegal and it was taboo and a bad thing to do.
Yeah. And
You
then
can
it
go
became
up
legal,
there.
and they just said,
I was
we
gonna
don't need
say,
to do
I
this
was
anymore.
telling my girlfriend yesterday. I was like, I don't even know if they do it anymore. I don't think they really have a need for it anymore. Since I
No.
guess every day
It's
is
called
marijuana
Tuesday
day here.
at the park. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
So-
like after turning 21, the drinking becomes kind of non-class A because it's normal now, right? I don't know.
I don't know. Like when you're early 20s, drinking is still one of those things that,
your game just improves as the years go
you
on.
get older and it's like, okay, we probably don't need to do that.
Like I'm curious with you two, like what was the go-to 21-year-old Rashad Jordan drink or high school drink? Because God forbid that we drank before 21.
Ooh.
Oh, God forbid.
Well, dang.
Sinners.
21 drinks. So I'm a product of late 90s and 2000s.
Was it Mad
hip-hop.
Dog 2020?
So no, that was the 16-year-old drink. That's what that was. Finding someone outside that looked like they were sketchy enough to be able to buy some kids some booze.
I definitely
And,
did that in like Anaheim area. We got a homeless guy to buy us like a handle of Captain Morgan's.
And you think
Not a
about it
bit.
now, all that stuff could have went really left.
Yup.
And see, when you're in San Jose, they sell liquor at stores, right? They sell
Yeah,
it
in California,
normal-
I mean
Yeah,
Washington, you can
everybody
buy it
just
in
sell
the
it at
grocery
the store.
Yeah.
Here in Oregon, like you have to settle for the Boons or the Mad Dog or whatever is kind of
A
there.
buzzball.
Yeah, right. But
Ah, yes.
but no, at 21,
Nasty.
like I said, kind of a product of that age of hip hop. So Hypnotic had just became a thing,
Oh God, yeah.
like a real thing.
Oh,
And
shoot.
yeah.
I was like, okay, because I thought it was cool. I had my own space and everything like that. And so I thought I'm 21 now. I can be at the club. And mind you, I live in Las Vegas at this point at 21. And so I'm like, I'm really kicking it like every single day type thing. And Hypnotic was one of those things that they always bought female eyes that way.
Did you ever have yourself some Incredible
Hulks.
Hulks?
Come on, man. That's if we're really trying to kick it. So
Hold on.
throwing a house party, get that Hennessy and that Incredible Hulk.
I was gonna
mix
say
that.
Hypnotic and Hennessy, right?
Yeah, at the house party. Hypnotic, hen, house party. The 3 H's, Triple H. They go together.
Hypnotic.
They go
Hennessy
together.
House party.
Yeah,
my
because you don't do Incredible Hulks at the club. That's ridiculous.
It's like the green blue carousel. That looks nasty.
Oh, it's not great, bro.
That's
Yeah.
gonna mess with
It's
your
not
tummy.
great, but none of it's great if we're being real. I've never had alcohol and been like,
Well,
this isn't bad.
I will say that once I started drinking like legit cocktails, like good cocktails, that's I didn't start drinking actual cocktails probably until like 4 years ago. And I had I've talked about it on the show, the Paper Plane is my go-to cocktail now. It's bourbon, Aperol, Amaro, Nonino, and lemon juice.
Mm.
And I'm telling you, just chef's kiss.
No,
man.
and I'm sure it's a good drink for an alcohol.
But once I
But-
had that,
yeah.
I realized, I was like, okay, I didn't realize like this is what liquor.
This
could
is what
be.
adulthood
This
is.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
This is what
it can
adulthood
taste
is.
good.
is.
Like,
Yes.
I'm one of those guys, and I'm not sure about you, Jordan, but I'm not a big cocktail guy. I'll take it, give it to me straight.
Just on the rocks.
Yeah, I don't even need rocks. Give neat. It's fine for me.
Okay.
Just I'm just a real kind of old school
I like
kind of dude like that.
I like my whiskey with a couple ice cubes, some rocks, just because it waters it down a little bit. You know, I enjoy that. I like the bite of it, but still, I want it to go down smooth.
Unless it's super fancy stuff, like Lefroy's 20 year or whatever the heck we're talking about, like $100-$200 bottle. I can't really do it straight. I'm not really a straight liquor guy very often. Maybe a good shot of tequila, like Casamigos. Give me some Patron, which that's now my drink of choice. Either just like a simple Makers and Coke, or Patron and pineapple juice, or Casamigos and pineapple juice, because that goes down so smooth. It is so refreshing.
See, for me, I
Oh,
get
my
sick
God.
from like sodas. Like some stuff
Yeah.
is too sweet sometimes, and so it's like I'll just take the alcohol, and the alcohol is sweet in itself, like depending on what you have, which is why I hate rum. I will never ever in life be a rum guy. I've never met a man that's like, oh, favorite drink, oh, it's definitely rum.
Oh, no, you ask what our 16-year-old drinks were. I believe rum was in my parents' liquor cabinet, so
Coconut
that
rum.
was one of our drinks. And yeah, Malibu or just like dark
Malibu,
rum.
yeah.
Oh, that stuff. I remember puking on dark rum and the taste of that coming up afterward. No thanks.
Yeah, in
No,
retrospect,
thanks. No.
and I think about this every now and then because I rarely, if ever, drink rum in any capacity. That was definitely like I don't know if it was just a matter of price or why. Like I don't know what caused it, but rum was definitely something that I drank often in my late teens, early 20s. This was the one that was a staple in the Sherwood community amongst my friends and I. Barbarossa.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I love how we all
that's
have
what-
the
I know
same
exactly
kind of
what
like,
you're. It was that plastic bottle
Yep.
Yeah.
right next to
$20 for a fifth or for a half gallon. Yeah.
right next to the vodka, which are out in Gresham at Mountain Community College was the HRD, the Hood
Yep.
River
I was about
Distillery.
just to say that's
Oh,
if you're from the
Rashad.
Northwest, man.
Yep.
Hood River Distillery.
Ugh.
I've gotten so sick on so many nights based on that really thick, disgusting vodka.
It was like $15 for a handle,
for
man.
for a half
It was
gallon. They
nasty.
were really really bad.
Now, if for some reason HRD is a sponsor, we love you.
Oh,
You
actually,
have the,
hey, no.
you
To
have,
spin that back around.
Wonderful vodka.
We're
Are they
talking.
really a sponsor?
I don't know if they are, but even if they're not, let's give them credit where credit is due. I think they
They have
heard.
cornered the cheap vodka
and-
market.
Well, not
Listen,
even that. They actually
they-
have released a few better options, I believe, since then.
Man.
I don't think that they did hear. They didn't just not listen to people talking about, hey, this tastes kind of not like the
They
best.
kept the house party lit for generations.
And they did do that.
All right.
for
They do that.
decades.
I got a couple on the text line here. At 18, it was cheap vodka with a soda chaser.
HRD.
Exactly. Yeah,
There you
HRD.
go.
It was the cheapest in town.
Or what was the other one? Burnett's.
Because
They just had all sorts of different flavors that were disgusting.
oh,
and,
black cherry
Burnett's.
vodka. No.
Yeah.
like birthday cake flavor or whatever.
Yeah, the Seagram's like whiskey and stuff like that. Like it's like $9. It's
Ew.
not great.
I remember when I felt fancy in college before I turned 21, and Bud Light Lime had just come out, and I remember keeping a 12-pack in my fridge. Like,
So you know it pretty much made its debut around my senior year. Something that's still around. It's Mike's Hard Lemonade.
yeah.
Oh,
so-
I remember Mike's Harder lemonades.
yeah.
Drinking those when I was like 17, 18 as well.
Still doing Mike's Harder Lime right now.
I remember. I have a picture, and it's me and my buddy Chris, and we're at this party in Wyoming. Long story, but it's a great story. I could tell it one
Rashad
day.
in Wyoming.
Oh, it's
a
an
location I did not anticipate.
Oh, it's
you'd
an awesome story. When I tell it to you guys, it'll be kind of it's crazy. But we're in this party. We're the only two black dudes there, and
I'm shocked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, shocked and appalled.
clearly right. And so we're both holding our Mike's Hard Lemonades, and we're cheersing, and we have like this stone cold look on our face, like this really, kind of we don't smile
Tink.
kind of look, but we're cheersing Mike's. It's like, yeah, this look he looks so corny. But yeah, man, that Wyoming trip was it's my first road trip and we went to go see a buddy of ours.
Your first road trip was to Wyoming?
No, so like
With Mike's Hard.
I'm 18. It's like my freshman year of college.
sounds
like,
right.
It's just me and like for with my friends.
I mean,
Like
my first like road trip with my friends was to San Francisco. You went to Wyoming?
so we went because our good friend was in a play, right? He did theater, and so he was at
Okay.
a play, and it was right before Thanksgiving, and so we were gonna go out there for the play and then bring him home for the holiday. Cool, right? And we get there, and there's a bunch of stuff that ensued before that, but we get there and find out his roommate is like Melvin's a black dude, like way blacker than me, way darker than me. Like
oh,
it's,
like
yeah,
complexion.
Yeah, really. What'd you think I was talking about, Joe?
Well, I thought you meant like how he acts or something. I was like, what are you
Well,
talking
how do black
about?
people act, Joe?
I don't know. You
Tell
tell
me
me.
more.
Just-
Tell me
I
more,
was
Joe.
like,
Stop it.
No, but no, he's
Continue. Elaborate.
He's much
will you?
darker than me. Well, not much darker, maybe a little bit, not by much, but come to the door and find out that his roommate is an avid supporter of the KKK.
Oh, well,
So
it is
clearly that
Wyoming.
guy's super white, right? And then not only is that, he's campus security, and so we bring a bunch of that Mike's
Now
Hard
that's
lemonade.
that's the type
Yeah.
of person you need as campus security. Right
Oh,
there.
absolutely, 100%. So we bring a bunch of Mike's Hard lemonade. We bring a bunch of probably Burnett's or something like that, and we didn't know that. And then we go to his play, and he's in a play called Showboat, which is a play about slaves on a black cruise ship. Mind you, I'm in Wyoming.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the state that you're in is
I'm
fits.
in Wyoming, and Melvin, my friend, is the only black person in the play.
Please,
Right?
That-
So the play starts,
no.
and here come
Poor
the
Melvin.
actors, and they're shucking and jiving, and they got on blackface.
Oh my.
Oh no!
And me and my
no.
butt, and me and my so, and in the crowd, mind you, we're in Wyoming, all white people for the most part, and in the middle of all those white people, there's me and my
Yikes.
other black friend Chris, and my Japanese friend Dan, who's sitting right behind us. Right. So the play starts. And people in the crowd are like,
Sounds like a
this is-
joke already. Like
But
a
yeah,
black
this is a
guy, a
skit,
Japanese guy,
but it's actually real.
and a half black
It's
guy
actually
walking
real.
to a play
It's
in
actually
Wyoming.
real. We
Oh
were
my
pulled over twice in this whole ordeal, and the second time there were guns drawn, but this was back here in Portland, and it was a wild couple days and
Super
everything
Chef
like
Bobby
that.
Flay was there.
Yeah,
Mark
it was
Cuban,
insane.
Chris Daughtry.
It was insane. It was insane. man.
Guilty
So,
with the
yeah,
stories.
with the stories, man. But yeah, there's that one.
That's your
gets a
Mike's
lot.
Hard lemonade trip, huh?
Well, and
Wyoming
here's
trip
the
brought
better
to you
part.
by Mike's Hard
Here's the
Lemonade,
better part.
right?
Here's the better part. So there is a store that is actually a place that they're not a store anymore, but they do work with us here at the Fan now, or at least I know they have in the past. And but when they were a corner store, I was able to go in there at 18 years old and buy as much booze as I could have ever wanted. And 18-year-old me did not have facial hair, did not have anything. And so that was another part of the great stories. Like I got to buy a whole bunch of booze, like $26 worth in
Yeah, the hookup.
2001. Like no problem.
You had the
So,
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, you always have
I'm
that
the guy.
hookup.
So
You were the guy. You were the hookup.
yeah, man.
Because when
So,
I was 17, 18.
shout out to Wyoming, I guess.
Shout out to you being able to buy liquor.
I hear it's beautiful.
oh
Oh,
the
yeah.
scenery was tops. Like
Well, we do have some people reaching out on the Vancouver Ford text line about what they drank during their early drinking days. I mentioned the cheap vodka soda chaser. That same texture said at 26, it's Rainier beer. Hopefully at 34, it's water. Yes, more water necessary.
That is true.
I've been doing this crazy thing lately, drinking more water.
oh, it's crazy.
It's
feeling
Yeah.
good.
yeah. Wouldn't you believe it? I
Yeah.
feel much better.
Water's a 1 seed, man. If
Yeah.
we're ranking the drinks.
The healing.
Water's a 1 seed.
The healing component, baby. Night Train. What is
Ooh,
Night Train?
My God.
Night Train. That's a
How
throwback.
old are you, sir? Night Train?
Is it
What?
like a Mad
I've
Dog,
never
like,
heard of
uh,
Night
That's like
Train
a.
before.
I mean, I think
Malt liquor?
Thunderbird and Night Train.
Yeah,
That's
Night
like,
Train wine. Yep, same
yeah,
thing.
You
Night
had to
Train
be,
Express.
Oh
Is
my
that what I'm
God.
seeing right now?
Yeah, you had to be like you were pimping.
It looks-
in the 80s if you were drinking Night Train.
It looks like Mountain Dew Code Red.
Cheap Californian fortified wine is what Google is telling me.
How are you guys with Cisco?
Cisco.
Oh,
Never heard
never
of
had
Cisco.
Cisco, huh?
How do you spell it? I'm trying to.
CISCO, I believe.
Oh man,
See,
it sounds
wow,
familiar.
That just
Cisco.
seeing
Cisco
that
liquor.
put next to a bottle of
Ew.
Mad Dog 2020 just makes me
Hey,
want to
man,
puke.
That
Cisco again for those young
Cisco.
days. Go hard, man. Absolutely.
Jake the
Absolutely
Hater
not.
on YouTube says Zima. Can't forget about
Oh,
Zima.
Zima was the sprite of the the pre Mike's Hard Lemonade and stuff.
Shout out to my mom. She always had a 6-pack of Zima in the house. She loves Zima.
That was the fancy thing. That let people know that hey,
Yeah.
I make just enough money to be able to look this fancy.
Hey,
Like,
Zima.
I've got class.
Zima was actually the sponsor of one of our poll questions a few weeks ago. And our poll question today brought to you by G.I. Joe's Sporting Goods Store.
oh, I love that place.
G.I. Joe's.
I love that place.
I still have a coupon there. I might go use it. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you might need to just trash that one. Sports Sunday poll question brought to you by G.I. Joe's Sporting Goods Store. Are you happy in any way, shape, or form for the Boston Celtics winning the NBA Finals? Your 4 options. Yes, they deserved it. Yes, but screw their fans. No, they've won enough. And 4th option, screw all Boston teams. Right now, with 45 votes on the 1080 The Fan page, it's a close matchup
it A?
between yes, they deserved it, and screw all Boston teams. Yes, they deserved it at 35.6%. Screw all Boston teams at 33.3%. Yes, but screw their fans at 20%. And then no, they've won enough, 11.1%.
See, I would think it'd be screw their fans, that would be leading right now because I think we all know, they're pretty good. But Boston fans, speaking from the Patriot fan,
And speaking
right?
of Wyoming,
yeah, right. Speaking, as a Patriot fan, yeah, these fans can be unbearable, relentless, and super racist.
well, I want you to keep chiming in on the text line with what you drank as a teenager / 21-year-old when you first started your drinking, because we're getting some good text still rolling in. And also, let's keep it going with this Boston Celtics. Are you happy for the Celtics that they won the NBA Finals? Because I definitely have a feeling on this that it kind of goes with the yes, they deserved it, but also yes, screw their fans. But I want to obviously get your guys' takes on this. We got a draft in a few days, boys. In a couple of days, the NBA draft is upon us. We also have a Game 7 coming up tomorrow. Plenty of other stuff here that we'll get to on Sports Sunday. But let's start with the Boston Celtics. They hang up banner number 18. Well, not yet. In a few months they will. But they have won their 18th NBA Finals, and we will get to that next here. Sports Sunday on 1080 The Fan.
Did you know the law requires insurance companies to pay you 100% of your auto
All right, Sports Sunday. It was a funeral for Drake on Amazon the other day.
Oh, man.
And it was a funeral for the season of the Dallas Mavericks the other night as well, because the Boston Celtics, I guess they played Kendrick Lamar in this role.
Oh, they were the bullies for sure.
And they absolutely dominated on their way to 18th title. Dominated in every game but one game. And my poll question stems from the reaction of seeing the Boston Celtics and the city of Boston winning yet another title. But there is something about this Celtics team. I want to say about a month or so ago, it seems like, when we were talking about the Timberwolves Nuggets series. I wanted to see the Nuggets come out on top. I kind of wanted to see the Nuggets win another championship because of just people never giving Jokic his due credit, even when he wins MVPs and wins a title. That was kind of the case seeing the Celtics win it this time around. Like, have you ever seen a more disrespected championship team than this Boston Celtics? Like, you know, corniness aside from Jason Tatum, but when it comes to the actual on-court basketball performance, like, it's, and I don't even know if the 2019 Raptors were disrespected as much as this Celtics team, because I mean, granted, the Raptors, everybody essentially knows, like, all right, if you're playing a fully healthy Warriors team, you're not winning that series. If you have Kevin Durant playing, if Klay Thompson doesn't tear his ACL, like, they're probably winning that series. So the Raptors, they took advantage of a less than healthy team in the Warriors, and they went and won that championship. So I'm just trying to think of past champions and comparing to this Celtics team, like, who has been more disrespected. And that's where I kind of say, like, I am happy for this particular group of Celtics team, because Jason Tatum is always in question of whether he's a star or not. Doesn't seem to matter if you're winning a championship with a deep team like this. Extremely happy for Peyton Pritchard, obviously the hometown kid. Happy for Jaylen Brown for him having one of the best years of his career, especially after getting the bag in the offseason last year, and everybody wondering if he was really worth it. Kristaps Porzingis coming back. Al Horford after how long he's been in the league. And then Joe Mazzulla, again, guy who kind of catches strays for being a weird dude, probably justified. But again, like, it just seems like this team was just getting crapped on for the week leading up to the championship, for the entire season. And they left no doubt in this NBA Finals, Rashad.
No, it was, if you're a basketball fan, like, it was cool to see, because they did deserve it, for being real. Like, the Celtics have been the best team all year, regular season, postseason. They've had arguably the best player all year in Jason Tatum, like 47% from the field shooting, 38% from three, like averaging 8 rebounds a game, 5 or 6 assists, like a couple, like, he's doing everything that you want your superstar player to do. And then they've been in first place all season, but still there are people who are like, yeah, just don't think he's a winner. Just don't think he's a superstar. Like, there's something about Jason Tatum, even though he's been to the finals before, even though he's been in the conference finals, like, for the last 5 or like
every
last
year,
7 years or something like that. Like, so he's been carrying his team to this point. But guess what? Jimmy doesn't have one yet. Embiid doesn't have one yet. All those players in the Eastern Conference that are supposed to be so much better than what Jason Tatum is, they're not there. Like, this is a guy who beat Jordan to his first championship, beat Kobe to his first championship, or even tied
As
with
far
Kobe,
as age goes,
as far as age,
yeah, I
you know
saw
what I'm saying?
that stat, Tatum getting his first championship before
Like,
some legends out there. It's
so
pretty wild.
And he's somebody that has been knocking on the door for the last few years. So this isn't a fluke that they all of a sudden got there. Like, here's somebody that's been said that Jason Tatum, like, not a closer. He, in the big moments, he kind of freezes up, or he doesn't come through. And I'm like, bro, he lost like 19 games all season, and then got into the postseason and lost like 5 games, you know, in between there. So this team deserves it. Like, I don't love the Celtics. You know, they're mad at Kyrie for being mad at racism. Like, essentially, like, that's this whole thing. Like, mind you, people can feel, you know, every other way about Kyrie.
They're more so
There's
mad
some,
at him for the whole how he went about being a Celtic, saying he wants to come back if you'll have me, and then just kind of acting like a bitch.
but even still, like, initially, like anybody else, man, they're racist. They say this, they say that, and then now we hate that player more. Which is, I mean, I guess like to be mad at racism is that's as American as apple pie, type thing. So that was kind of how a lot of people kind of felt about the Kyrie situation. That said, Kyrie didn't play well at all in this series.
I think
he
saw
had
a
one
stat,
good game.
99 points on 99 shots in the NBA Finals.
That's awful.
Not efficient.
For somebody that I think a lot of people feel is the most offensively gifted player in the NBA, like you can't come through any more than that. That defense from Boston was that good to where they stopped the most gifted player in the league offensively from really scoring the ball. Like, I felt bad for Luka at a point. It's like he's really the only one doing anything. Nobody else could do a thing, and Luka was like carrying his team. It looked like 2007 LeBron in the finals. That's what it looked like.
I'm kind of confused at like this. It's not like a crazy screaming version of like the Boston Celtics are terrible from the national media, what I'm hearing, but what I'm hearing is like the national media's love for Boston, which was there like 2 months ago, back in March. The Celtics were it. They were the team out of the Eastern Conference, and I think possibly the guaranteed NBA championship. If you go back and listen to any of those guys talking every day or gals just saying like, the Celtics are the team. Can't anybody on top of them? And now 2 months later, and I remember around that time, ESPN's Tim Legler said something about like he wanted to talk about Pacers basketball more, how they were having such an amazing season. The national media basically being told from the executives at the top of these companies the Pacers are boring. And now I kind of feel like the same thing has happened because the NBA Finals were kind of boring in our opinions, that their run through the playoffs, I guess some people are saying, is boring, just not grabbing enough eyes, that the shine is worn off on the Celtics, and now we're all just about the Mavericks and what they should have done and why Kyrie didn't play better and why Luka isn't more mature. So I just feel like we're kind of on this shiny new thing, with the media day to day, and it's frustrating because literally we are 2 months ago removed from an entirely different conversation about the Celtics, basically revolving around them being the unbeatable team this season.
I'll go one further for you. We're 2.5 weeks removed from Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves.
Yeah, at least you didn't say Anthony Bennett.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's true.
Being the face of the NBA and being the next great thing, and they beat Denver, so they're definitely going to win a championship. They didn't just beat Denver; they dominated them fools, for the most part. And their wins, like they weren't super close, in a lot of those. And so, it was kind of one of those things. Like we were ready to move on to that next shiny thing. It's crazy that the next big shiny thing is Boston, though. It's like the next, oh man, this up and coming team, the Lakers, man, we're gonna have to really see what they do.
And now we have to all start the conversation. Is this team going to be a dynasty? Like, can't ever just be, which is.
I mean, are they kind of not already? Like they had to win one, but they're a team that we knew could compete and win a championship. And they finally got there. And it'd be different if it was like a slow build. When the Warriors won that first one, it was like, first year they were together, second round exit in 6 games. Okay, cool. All of a sudden they go on this historic run that nobody ever saw coming, and we claim that a dynasty after 2 rings. Here's a team that's been in the conference finals since Jason Tatum was 19, 20, or however old he was, and now here he is 26, and he's got his first championship and everything. So, I mean, I don't know. I think the dynasty started when they won this one because if you didn't, I mean, for real, honestly,
you gotta have
multiple championships, but they've at least had a shot at one other championship, and they didn't get that. And so they got this one. They win one more. Like, how many did Paul Pierce win?
I mean, we'll have to see in time. Again, like I think the whole dynasty thing starts with 3. Quite honestly. Like 3 and 4, 3 and 5 years, but
so you don't think Miami was a dynasty?
Miami, like the LeBron Miami.
Yeah.
No,
they didn't win 3.
Yeah,
they went to 4 and
they went to 4. They won 2. But
the conversation was worthy of having because they won the second one. I think that's when, in my opinion, the conversation start is when you win the second.
If that's the case, then how many teams actually have like 3 that we can say, yep, dynasty? The Warriors,
Lakers, Bulls.
But again.
Celtics,
Bulls,
back in the day.
Lakers is a hodgepodge of a bunch of different, like, great,
But even Shaq and Kobe, Lakers won 3.
They won 3, but again, that list is short
Yep.
of Tim Duncan and the Spurs.
That's why you
won
just
two.
can't throw around that title willy-nilly.
I believe that.
Sacred
but, you
ground.
Know, at the same time, I think, winning a championship is tougher than people think. And like to be able to at least compete for them and then get from I've asked to put you somewhere. Are the Pistons a dynasty?
Oh, absolutely not.
The 90s
The Bad Boys
Pistons?
Pistons.
No.
No, they didn't get.
Great era,
But
but
they,
yeah.
they're the only team to beat the Celtics, the Lakers, and the Bulls.
Did
No.
they win 3? I thought they won 2.
They won 2 and
They won
competed
2.
for 4 or
Which-
competed for 3.
Yeah,
so
which
All
was
right.
the start of the conversation. But unfortunately, it's just we're talking the elite of the elite when it comes to dynasties.
All right, reel it in.
No!
I don't
we
know.
we got a break. We got to take a break. We need to get back on the clock here. We can continue this on the other side, but I do also want to bring up the Mavericks a little bit, the
You have
losing
to.
team in the NBA Finals. Right now, the poll question brought to you by G.I. Joe Sporting Goods, though. Screw all Boston teams is starting to pull away
I figured.
at 40.4%. Yes, they deserved it, still at 31.6 in second, but yeah. Looks like the consensus is nobody is happy for Boston in any capacity, whether it's a team that deserves it, a group of players that deserve it, or not. So we will get to more of the NBA Finals on the other side. Want to read some more of these text messages as well. We will get to this next on Sports Sunday. But first, Jordan Schultz, Sports Center update.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on the Fan, the final round of the Travelers Championship happening in Connecticut right now. Your leader at this point, Tom Kim, at 18 under. He is even on his final round through 5 holes so far today. Cameron Young making his way up the leaderboard, tied now for second with Xander Schauffele and Scotty Scheffler at 5 under. Patrick Cantlay, Tony Finau, Shane Lowry, Sungjae Kim, and Colin Morikawa all tied for 6th on the course as well. They are all sitting at 16 under for their tournament. In baseball, the first place Seattle Mariners getting it done in Miami, getting a split of the series, at least in the first 2 games, after they blanked the Marlins 9-0. Ryan Bliss and Dom Canzone had 7 hits in total. Seattle going for the series win this morning. Bryce Miller and Kyle Tyler on the bump. First pitch set for 10:40 a.m. on Root Sports. And just 2 days after his big league debut, Toronto Blue Jays infielder Orelvis Martinez was suspended 80 games today for violating Major League Baseball's performance-enhancing drug policy. The Blue Jays' top hitting prospect tested positive for a fertility drug on the league's banned substance list. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The afternoon round of the 10th Annual Fan Golf Classic, presented by Autotown GMC, is sold out. And the morning round is filling up fast. Sign up now to play with 1080 The Fan.
Start your summer road trip at Midas and get
Fan.
All right. On the text line, Rich P1 from Troutdale High School in the 70s in Gresham. It was Boone's Farm Strawberry Ripple.
There it is.
What the hell is
Strawberry
that?
Ripple. So listen, again, like I said, you had to have been like the movie Dazed and Confused was based on your life if you were drinking Strawberry Ripple.
Boone's Farm
Because
Strawberry Ripple.
Strawberry Ripple is really like thick wine.
Ooh.
It's pretty I wouldn't advise. They still make it, like you can go get it, but I wouldn't advise drinking it. My wife's uncle had some at a
You can still get it. I would advise not drinking it.
I wouldn't. I mean, if it's just some like for nostalgia's sake, you just want to have it around. But
Good
no,
nostalgia, or
I mean, if that's what it tasted like it's time to go back to the
Ooh.
future because
can I entertain you in some Boone's Snow Creek Berry?
probably,
How about some Fuzzy Navel from Boone's?
probably.
Oh, so it's just schnapps.
Yeah. How about this?
Strawberry
I got
Ripple,
one for you
okay.
guys, and you don't know this. You probably didn't watch BET as kids.
What was the
But-
show that would play music videos after like 11 o'clock at night on BET?
Uncut.
Yeah. Oh, I watched Uncut.
Well, well before the days of Uncut. This is like early '90s. There was a drink called St. Ides Special Brew. So St. Ides was a 40 company, right? So they specialize in 40s, which are still 40s are still to this day something I will have no problem. Somebody has a 40, absolutely, I'll take one, no problem. But they came out with a special brew for
High gravity malt
the
liquor.
kids, basically. I don't know, for the teenagers.
For the kids.
No, I mean for the teenagers, or the people that do drink, the ones that like Boone's and stuff. And special brew was like flavored liquor.
Oh, I'm seeing it right here. It's like got a little cartoon on it
And
too.
then they came out with Crooked Eye, which
course.
was just like a drink, just the juice drink for anybody. That was actually very, very delicious, if I might say. Like it was just juice. It
Well,
was good.
Rashad, I will let you know that St. Ides has dipped into the THC game. They
Have they
apparently
really?
have St. Ides high tea. Get it?
Okay.
High tea.
Heyo.
Cannabis infused, 100 milligram THC.
All right. St. Ides still out there.
What else on the Vancouver Ford text line here? California coolers. I'm guessing a wine cooler.
The
of
wine
sorts.
coolers.
I miss wine coolers.
I'm
Those were
missing
actually,
too. Like, why'd they stop making those?
they were so refreshing. Like,
Seriously.
I
Oh,
guess people just
boy.
stopped buying them.
These
Love wine coolers. Get a pack of 4.
Oh
Let's
yeah, you got a
go.
4-pack. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the one? Bartles
and James?
Yeah. I remember having those at too young of an age.
Back when I think this was like just as I turned 18. This was kind of before the cider game had gotten really huge, and everybody started brewing theirs. But Hornsby's used to just like be
Hornsby's.
Oh,
the
yeah.
only cider brewer, and since then they've changed the recipe, and it doesn't taste like it used to. But that original tasting Hornsby's,
So
oh my god,
at-
that stuff was to die for.
at 18, we went to London for like a choir thing, right? So it was
What's
right
with you
after high
going to
school.
these really white locations?
Hey
that-
man, like I went to a really white high
Wyoming,
school. I went
London.
to a really white high school, and so yeah, Grant. Everybody thinks Grant is one of the black schools. Like it is, but it ain't at all. Like because black people go there.
It's the white PIL.
Yeah,
school.
you know what I'm saying? Like people
Ah.
go there, but the truth is like there's not a lot of us. But we go to London, and so we were able to drink. Right, legal drinking age is 18.
Get
and
a
so,
point.
Yeah, pound of so for a pound, which is basically $1 here,
Pound a
$1,
pint.
whatever, pound a pint. And they had something called Strongbow.
Strongbow cider.
Strongbow, and we were knocking that down. And I think you can buy it somewhere here in the.
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
they make
States somewhere.
Strongbow here.
Yeah, so
I believe Patrick Stewart used to advertise for them
did
a
he?
few years ago.
Yeah,
Strongbow.
Strongbow was legit. So I don't like ciders, but I would have a Strongbow today.
Nice.
No problem.
In our 20s, a few friends and I decided to pass around a half gallon of HRD 151 rum.
No.
And then go bowling. Needless to say, the bowling did not go well. We might as well have drank gasoline. Yeah, I think I've dabbled twice with 151 in the Bacardi variety. So I can only imagine HRD.
Oh my gosh.
151 rum.
Burn
My
your
God.
stomach.
Yeah.
Like you don't care about your insides. I remember again.
Dear God.
I'm so young. I know
Hey,
nothing
think
about
Tech
drinking.
9 for 151, all right? He probably got more people drinking that than should have been.
Caribou Lou, baby.
I
Hey,
was-
that actually is a good go-to if you are trying to get sauced.
Ugh. I was actually trying to be cool in front of a girl in high school, and there
Were
was
you
a
in
bottle of
Nebraska by
151.
chance?
I was
Or
in
South Dakota?
I was actually in Northeast Portland when this happened, and we're at a little house party, and I see a bottle of 151, so I just pour a shot. I have no idea what 151 is, right?
Oh, dear.
Oh my God.
No
Rashad.
clue. I'm
So
18,
sorry.
like I don't know. I'm not at this point. I'm
Take some
17.
shots, girl.
Yeah,
Come
at
on.
this point I'm 17. She's already said I'm good. I'm not really drinking. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this shot. I took the shot, and immediately the shot came right back out because I wasn't expecting that burn.
Regret.
Oh man, imagine just eating a whole wasabi ball, and that's kind of what it felt like. Eyes burning, throat closing. It was pretty bad.
Deal is asking, did Rashad go to the Vampire Weekend show in Bend last week?
I did
It's a
not
good question.
go. I did not go there last week. However, I've ended up in some pretty non-diverse places every now and then.
Locations.
Every now and then, I'll end up in some place like, how the hell did I get here?
Did you guys ever mess with the Southern Comfort?
SoCo, how about this? You ever heard of Southern Host?
Never heard of Southern Host.
I had
but,
Southern Comfort once, like 4 years ago, and I took a shot, and I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "No,
No,
thank you."
but it is. I think one of my 2 ever blackouts happened on one of the
Yeah.
combinations of liquor was
SoCo will
Southern
do
Comfort.
that to you.
Yeah.
I had the cheap version of that called Southern Host,
Oh, good lord.
and yeah,
The generic version,
It's
so
not.
to
It's
say.
not very good. Needless to say, I was it's pretty sick.
All right, we will get back on the clock now. We're over it again. Damn it. Booze will do that to you. Booze will have you lose track of time. All right, we'll talk Dallas Mavericks next on this next segment since we didn't get to that there. Keep texting in, though, about the booze that you used to drink and how you have a much more refined palate now. But we will get to the Dallas Mavericks and their performance in the NBA Finals next here, Sports Sunday, 1080 The Fan.
Aloha, it's Marcus from the 808. I got big
Finals. I want to bring this up on the Vancouver Ford text line. You can text the Vancouver Ford text line 503-864-6326. That's 503-864-6FAN. They treat you right before, during, and after the sale. Visit them at vancouverford.com. As a Celtics fan, it amazed me how many pundits picked Dallas to win. It seemed like around half of the experts, and they didn't put this in the text, but I'm going to, quotation marks, experts, pick the Mavs, so it feels great to stick it to them. I was talking to Rashad about this in the break, seeing if he had seen some of the videos going around, and I didn't see or hear any, I'm not watching a lot of First Take. I'm not watching a lot of Get Up on ESPN, the shows on Fox Sports 1, not listening to much Colin. So I'm not really catching a lot of these, media experts. I might catch it, these national figureheads in the postgame or pregame or something like that of a broadcast, but I'm not watching these shows as they're airing live. But the amount of national media pundits, experts, analysts that took Dallas was shocking. And we have a clip. We're not going to play it because it's like 5 minutes long, but if you can find it on Twitter, it is a compilation of all the people and just how, and this is what kills me about sports media too, is how staunchly opinionated some people are. Well, I'm obviously going to take Dallas. Like, oh, well, there's no question. Dallas is going to win this.
The smart play is Dallas.
Yeah, and it's just like, what are we, like, are we just prisoners of the moment because the Dallas was the shiny new thing, and sorry that the Celtics swept the Pacers, so they weren't top of mind at the moment?
That's where we are as a society, yeah.
It was just, and again, like, I said this a couple weeks ago before the series started, I was like, I don't think we need to overthink this and try and be the smartest guys in the room. Like, I took the Celtics in 6 games. They didn't even need 6 games. It was like they've been the better team all year. They have the better team. So I don't see why they should lose this series. And they didn't. But yet, again, I don't know if it's just a matter of if they actually believed it or not. If they wanted to seem like they were making the sexy, no one is thinking of this. Yeah, I'm taking the Mavericks. Like, they would like the story better of the Mavericks winning it, and that's why they said it. But, I mean, the Mavericks, when it comes to them, they didn't hold up their end of the bargain. And I kudos to the Celtics, showing that they were the best team of the year round. But, man, the Celtics roster, the role players, Kyrie, again, 99 points on 99 shots. And then Luka Doncic, man, you want to talk about one of his biggest flaws really hindering them in his complaining to the referees. Like, how many times in this series do you feel like you saw him, something happened on the offensive end, him complain, and then Celtics went down and got a bucket because they were playing 4-on-5, or Luka himself just wasn't locked in, and they're scrambling on the defensive end. So the pundits got it wrong. The Mavericks did not show up when they needed it most. Yeah, Luka can pour in points, but defensively, in the mental state of his game, was just not in it this series.
I don't know. It's tough to say that. Like, Luka's been doing this series what he did every series prior to that. He offensively dominated, got his teammates involved, and those teammates just weren't there. Like, Gafford, somebody that everybody was like fawning over, prior to the series, was nowhere to be found. PJ Washington, like somebody who everybody looked at and was like, oh, he's one of the next, this is a big story of this offseason and going to the next season. Where was he? We talked about Kyrie earlier and him not really giving the production that he's supposed to have. Like, it's really Luka out here playing 1-on-5, and even still playing 1-on-5, he was dominating like those fools. Like, they didn't have an answer for him offensively. And I think where he started getting frustrated, and mind you, you're right, he cries a lot. Like, and I think every superstar in the league cries. One of my biggest kind of gripes with Damian Lillard when he was here is like, bro, stop crying, go play, get up, like, stop whining to the ref, looking for a call, looking for all that stuff. And it's just kind of one of those things. Dallas as a team didn't show up. And you're right, like you were saying earlier, Jordan, like, we look at the new shiny thing. The reason so many people were like, it's going to be Dallas, because it was supposed to be Denver. We all penciled in before the playoffs started. If we did brackets for the NBA Finals, most people's bracket had Denver being the team to beat at the end of the day, right? They're the champions. They should have been. And then you saw Anthony Edwards dominate his idol in the first round, and then pretty much go on and beat Denver in the second round. So then it was like, Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves are going to win a championship. I said that. They're going to win a championship. They just beat Denver, and they did it pretty convincingly in the games they won. They're gonna win a championship. And then Luka pretty much wiped the floor with those dudes in 5 games, and it was over. And then it was like, oh well, if they did that to Minnesota, there's no way that Boston's going to beat them. We don't really care about Boston. We know Boston to be kind of soft when it matters, that we know them not to come through, been in the conference finals a lot of times, been to the NBA finals, still come up short. This is Dallas's time. That was everybody's train of thought for the most part. All the national pundits, that was their train of thought. And Boston was like, man, F that noise.
I would call Luka's dominance. I would say not fully dominant. I'd say sort of dominant in the NBA Finals. I mean, he did have the numbers there. And there were like some key threes. I think his 3-point percentage the last 3 games left a lot to be desired. Dude couldn't hit it from outside the arc, and that was a problem for the Mavs. But you're right. I mean, you look at his efficiency numbers, like -10, -3 when he's dropping, 40 a game. Yeah, that's a problem, and it shows exactly what you just said, Rashad, is his team did not show up, and they were the pieces that apparently, I mean, I like.
Is Hawk 2.
Oh, I need that to end.
Yeah, if you don't know who it is, just Google it. But right now, she's the biggest star on the internet. It will fade because there will be something else here in a day or so.
We just
2 days, something like that. But we always look at that whatever is the
spit shiny
thing.
new toy.
Yeah, right there you go. I love it, Joe. Good job. But
we need to stop the man on the street interviews or the woman on the street interviews. We just need to stop.
A microphone.
I
Girls are going
want
to
one of
talk
those
to you.
little microphones.
The stupid, it's like
Those
a $10 tiny one. Hey, talking into this.
Those are funny. And do them with like the little hands or something like that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Text line, the NBA is turning into the MLB. Best players aren't American, hard for people to connect. That's the second text I've seen about that. Someone else chiming in. I'm glad Boston won because their best players are American-born ball players, but screw the Celtics and their fans.
It's true with the exception of Porzingis, who wasn't much help to them for
game one.
much
He was
of
great, but
game one he was awesome.
That was he came in a couple
game.
times after the injury, but
that was an FU game. That was for Boston. That was for Dallas. That was for Luka. That was for screw you guys.
To the
Watch me kill you.
To the Textures point, though, really quickly, I've always had this thought about Major League Baseball that instead of investing in American inner cities or in American youth, like the Boys and Girls Clubs say, trying to get athletes connected to kids and using the NBA to do that. I remember the Portland Trailblazers worked a lot, Rashad, with like the Boys and Girls Club up off of MLK and really, using that vehicle to connect with like black youth or underprivileged youth or just anybody that wants to be there and be a part of a basketball team or something like that. MLB never did that. And to the Texers' point, I do believe that they instead of doing something like that, just kind of turned Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Mexico into their, ground of future trophy winners and guys that they want to try to mold into moneymakers for their agents in that time.
And you know what else, man?
Frustrating.
Like, a lot of these players from overseas, they come from respected leagues over there. Right? Like Luka played in the Euros prior to coming to the NBA. Like a lot of these guys have been playing professionally since they were like 13 and 14. Aren't there 2 Frenchmen that are going to be number 1 and number 2 in this year's draft that have been playing professionally since they were like 16? We don't have any other leagues that are respected here in the States that kids can just be playing professionally when they're 16 and when they're 17 and learn how to play a professional game. So these guys come over here and they're more polished than NBA players are because they've been playing against grown men, not like 2 or 3 grown men at the Y or at 24 or something like that. Like, no, they're playing against actual, in some cases, NBA talent, in some cases, like guys that are, all world coming from their country's teams and their country's leagues and stuff like that. And so I think that's another big thing. Only thing we have is like high school and college. The only time kids really get to play with other people that are maybe just as talented as AAU.
Well, 2 things on this topic, and then we got to go, is if there's one league or one sport that definitely needs to start investing in homegrown talent and getting better within the within the States, it's the U.S. men's soccer team. Because, my God, here we are again as we get closer to the Olympics and what is it, the Copa America or something going on right
Copa
now.
America tonight.
And shocker, we overhyped the U.S. men's soccer team, and they suck.
If we're talking soccer, we're talking women's here in the States.
Yeah, rightfully so. Second thing on the subject is, quite honestly, when it comes to the NBA, I don't care where you're from. If you can ball and you got a game that I appreciate, like Jokic is one of my favorite players because he doesn't fit the mold and because of his approach to the game. Some people might not like it that he seems disinterested or that he'd rather be back home with his horses. To me, it's just like that guy looks locked in, shows zero emotion. It's another reason why I like Kawhi so much is because that dude just balls, you know? It's like he's not, you know, Jokic does chirp and complain, but, you know, Kawhi doesn't do that as much. And it looks like those guys are just on a mission, and Jokic's game is so polished and so well-rounded that, again, I don't care if you're from Slovenia. I don't care if you're from the Czech Republic. I don't care if you're from somewhere in Africa, Europe, Asia. If you got a game that I love and appreciate and you go out and ball and just make people look foolish out there, like, I don't really care. I do understand how it's like, you know, this is the NBA, this is the American League, right? And so having homegrown talent, you know, winning the league, I understand that sentiment. But me personally, it's just, you know, if you can ball and you can go and make things happen on the court, I'll appreciate your game regardless of where you're from. Also on the text line, gosh, I just saw this a couple moments ago. The fatal error is that and I wanted to read this. Yeah, fatal error. Everyone seems to making predictions of placing way too much stock in what happened in previous years. Like, exactly how did the last 222 finals have any bearing on the Celtics this season? That's one thing I feel like I see a lot in sports too. And this happened with the Celtics team is like, oh, I mean, they just can't get it done. I mean, we've seen them in years past, you know, get so close and they can't. What does that have to do with anything that is happening in the moment with this season? In another sport, I saw this happening with the Chiefs for a while, was that, oh, I mean, well, they already have good teams, but if you look at their playoff record, they haven't won a playoff game, or
Andy Reid has never won.
As they won a division, it's like, well, look at them now. The Chiefs are the preeminent dynasty in the NFL.
Like,
and
I wonder if they even remember that narrative, right? The Chiefs have been so good for so long now that does anybody remember when they weren't good like that?
I want to say it was when they had Alex Smith, one of their final years, and they were in the playoffs. Everybody was hanging on to this one stat about them and their playoff success in years past. I'm like, what does something that's happened 20 years ago have to do with this team now? Now, let's not bring that up about my Cowboys or anything, if we can refrain from that. But
it's the only time it's ever true.
Hey.
All right. Hour number 2 coming up. We have a draft on Wednesday, I believe. Question mark?
Welcome to Portland, young man. You ready to do some losing?
We have a draft coming up. Lots of decisions for the Blazers over the next couple of days. And we also have a Game 7 coming up. And my God, how did we get there? That's coming up. Hour number 2. Joe Fisher, Rashad Taylor, Jordan Schultz across the glass. Sports Sunday, 1080 The Fan.
During the summer months, Milwaukee Heating and Cooling cares about providing the community
Number 2, Sports Sunday. I haven't read it yet.
1080 The Fan, the Odyssey app, YouTube, Twitch for the kids. Speaking of Twitch for the kids, we've been talking about alcohol.
Listen up, kids. Don't do it? Is that where we're going?
For a while.
Okay.
Don't do it for a while.
Yeah.
That brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Great movie. I have to watch that. It's been a long time since I've seen
Coach Klein.
The Water Boy.
Mr. Coach Klein. I do have to bring this up real quickly. It seems as if Will Ortner right now, Big Will Betts, Big Willie style, young Will, is in Vegas right now. And he posted a picture of him and his buddies. A lot going on. The caption, though, Vegas is trembling.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
That just like, have you seen the meme? Where, like, the joke is like, Vegas has never seen 4 25-year-old white boys before. They don't know what to expect. They aren't ready for us.
Oh, yeah. No, and then at the end, they will
Get
have
'em, champ.
discovered Vegas will win.
Also, Will could tie me into a pretzel if he wanted to, being a former offensive tackle at a Division II school. But he is wearing... They're not even
romper?
No, they're not even leggings because they only go down past the knee and then they stop.
Those are leggings. What are you talking about?
No, they're not like, I mean, leggings to me are full leggings. They cover the entire leg.
Bro,
These look like those swim,
Those are
like
like-
swim
it's
trunks
like
that
hex-
swimmers wear.
Got like hex pads on or something.
And they just go down past the kneecap and just below the knee, and then that's it. And then it's just
like
shin.
halfway.
Yeah, it's like a quarter zip. It's like a quarter sleeve, but for leggings. Very odd choice. I hope it's for like medical reasons or something like that. Then I'll give him a pass.
The kids kind of wear some odd clothing choices nowadays anyway, so I'm not surprised. He's 26. He's right in there. Like, cargo shorts have apparently come back. I've started to question these
they?
choices. Oh yeah, the choices of
Cargo
these
shorts are coming
fashionistas.
back.
Oh, it's a thing apparently.
Carpenter pants coming back too.
I mean, and apparently
With
like
a little loop for your
Yeah,
hammer.
for your hammer.
I found out this last week that ankle socks are cool again. Or sorry, no.
Ankle socks aren't cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, let me rephrase that. It's the tube socks. You got to have like the tube like up half your leg or
The Gen
up your ankle.
Zers are not fans of the ankle socks.
I look fat as heck if I don't wear ankle socks. So my legs just look chubby, so I'm going to continue wearing ankle socks. I'm sorry. But yeah, apparently those aren't a thing anymore. Come on, man.
Not a thing.
So we got a draft on Wednesday. If you want to hang out and watch the draft with 1080 The Fan, we, not me or Rashad, I doubt we'll be there. I might be there. I might make an appearance. 10 Barrel Brew Pub in the Pearl District is where we'll be hanging out. I don't know. There's some sort of read somewhere. I don't know if it was printed out. But Danny and Dusty will be there. Prime time with Isaac and Suk. I don't know if Sprague and Danny are going to be doing Jacked Ramsey's there, kind of like what they did last year. But nonetheless, 1080 The Fan will be there. 1080 The Fan at 10 Barrel Pub on Wednesday for the NBA draft, where your Portland Trailblazers have the number 7 overall pick and the number 14 overall pick for now. Because there have been rumblings, Rashad,
What have those rumblings been, Joe?
that quite possibly, the Blazers are looking to trade up to the number 3 pick. Now, I haven't talked to my sources at all. I haven't been working the phones yet to find out if this is true or not. They are one of 3 teams that have the rumors are going around that they're looking to maybe move up to number 3. And so, hey, if there's a guy you really, really want, go for it, bud. This draft to me, it is very weird because apparently everybody and their grandma is saying this draft sucks. There's nobody good in it. It's all been at best role players. I say, like, I don't know, maybe we just wait to see if, that is the case. Watch them in the NBA, and maybe there are a couple stars that come out of this before declaring so. But in a draft like this, do we find it odd that the Blazers are willing to move capital to move up to the number 3 pick? Like, who would that be in the draft that they would love that much to move up to number 3? And quite honestly, the Blazers need a lot. So to have a specific person you're looking to go after that you feel like is going to help your team and franchise that much, I mean, more power to you, but I think having more draft capital and more players in the first round in the lottery that you can select, and again, the trade hasn't happened. We don't know what's going to happen. But I would say sticking at 7 and 14 to just acquire talent versus moving up for a specific player is the route that I would go.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know anything about, Red Shepherd, who is the person that's
Reed.
Excuse me, is it Reed? Reed.
Reed
I like
Shepherd.
Red Shepherd better.
Red
I do
Shepherd's
too.
better, but his name is Reed.
He
so
is now
mama named
officially
Reed.
Red Shepherd.
Mama named Reed. I'm gonna call him Reed. So Reed Shepherd.
Well,
another 6'3" guard.
I'll tell you, he's not going to be a Blazer. And I swear to God, if they draft him, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
up there.
I mean, because right now, he's projected as the person. Every mock draft I've seen, he's the one projected to be the third overall pick.
third overall.
Yeah, third overall pick.
God,
you know what
I
I mean?
hope
Look,
not.
I know the two Frenchmen are supposedly 1 and 2.
I
However,
pray that he's not.
however, they decide to go with, how do you say Zachary? How do you say his last name?
Zachary Risachet?
That sounds about-
Risachet?
Recession.
Yeah, there you go. Recession and Alexander Sarr. Like, I don't know anything about those guys other than the fact that they're
Sarr played in
French.
He played in Perth.
Sarr is
in the-
7'1".
Yeah, in the Australian League. Apparently, I was seeing something that he wants to go to Washington. Don't know why. I don't know if he wants to be seen as like the savior of the franchise, but if that's the case, best of luck. bud.
That's a
That's
good
weird.
franchise to start with. To
Have
kind
fun
of
playing with Jordan Poole.
oh my gosh, man, send that fool to the G League.
Yeah,
I mean,
Wes
Send him to
Unseld Ju-
China or Turkey or something like that.
Wes Unseld Jr. got fired mid-season, and then they just hired the interim guy. Washington's doing great.
Yeah, Washington's not doing well at all. By great, you mean terrible?
Terrible,
Then yes,
yeah.
that's exactly what they're doing. But I mean, Reed is projected to go to Houston. Houston, I say let him go to Houston. If that's who you're moving up to get third, then I don't know. I think the Blazers might be cooked. And then again, I don't want to. Let me take that back because I'm not going to at all act like I'm up to par with any of these guys that are in the draft this year. Like I might have watched 5 total games of college basketball this year, if I'm being 100, completely real. So I can't tell you what any of these players are going to be about. I haven't heard much hype from any of these guys. The few names that I do know, I don't think those guys can help the Blazers, anytime soon. So I don't know, man. Like you got a tough job if you're the general manager, really for any team this year, because I feel like this is kind of a crapshoot this year in particular. Like I don't know if can either of you tell me multiple or at least anything about the top 10 in this draft. Ron Holland, I know because I watched him play at the Schwab and I watched him dominate there. So I know he can do a lot of stuff.
Part of me wants the Blazers to select Ron Holland just to see Danny's reaction. I was talking to him and Dusty a couple weeks ago, and I was like, knowing nothing at all, I would love to. I was like, I'm curious about Ron Holland playing with the Blazers. And to quote Danny Moraine, he said, I would do a header off of a cliff if the Blazers
He lied.
selected Ron Holland. I was like, that is a one, ow. 2, bold statement, and that shows, according to Danny, how little that he wants Ron Holland on the Blazers and how he would fit this team.
Did he say why?
He was saying that basically he's not a great team guy. On the G League, it was very much complaining about not getting shots, not getting his buckets, and not getting his
I'm a top
his
10
reps.
I'm a top 10 pick. I'm gonna need. And how many guys from the Ignite are top 10 picks? 2.
Well, that's actually
yeah.
kind of the idea because the G League Ignite, well, now they're defunct, but they were supposed to be that gathering of young talent that before NIL was a thing, guys wanted to take the money instead of going to college and then become pros, like Scoot Henderson obviously was a G League Ignite player. But another problem with this kid, 6-44 was the Ignite's record this year too. So amongst all of these
Dear God.
calls for shots, terrible teammate, he's making the team worse. I think it's obvious. So I think Meringue is so right that guy's just a terrible locker room guy. So yeah, stay the heck away from him. But I guess, guys, for me, the Blazers draft, as a fan, I've just been out on them this year. So to me, I've seen them miss on so many guys that they could, try to move up top 3, get an Alex Sarr if they got a shot at it. Sure, absolutely do that. But really beyond that, I want them to go get the most guaranteed mid talent that there is. And what that will end up translating to is a nice bench guy. They need a 7 and an 8 off the bench that they're going to be able to develop and will actually hit shots and be consistent and not turn into a Luke Babbitt, not turn into a Zach Collins or just spend half his life injured on the Blazers roster. We've taken so many flyers over the last decade and a half. Damn you, Neil Olshey, on guys that had the hugest ceiling. And since there aren't those many guys, many of those guys in this year's draft, just go for the mid guys. Just draft a couple of role players and move on.
I think the one thing we don't say enough about the draft is it's flawed now, and we keep blaming the players for going pro, but really we should be blaming these general managers because we're getting, in every case, you're getting somebody you have to work with and somebody you have to help grow into their body. Like these guys, in most cases, it's been slated in that they're going to be the top pick in the draft since they were juniors in high school. We've been talking about Cooper Flagg for how long now? And he hasn't even played a college game yet. And yet he's already the first pick of next year's draft. These guys, they end up maturing and growing and getting better as players. And so when you got a Giannis that ends up going at the end of the lottery, and then all of a sudden he turns into one of the best players in the league, it's like, man, some of these guys aren't finished growing. I was a much better basketball player at 21 than I ever was at 18 or 19. I understood what to do. How many guys were the top player in the top player in high school, and then came to the NBA and had just mid careers. And then the guys that were, 3-star, 4-star guys end up coming Devin Booker or end up becoming somebody like really, really great in the NBA or the NFL or whatever. So I think it's just kind of one of those things, man. I think GMs need to do a better job of, man, number one, looking at some not older talent, but it's almost bad. Like if you don't get to go to the draft as a freshman, people are looking at you like, why didn't you go sooner? Like, why are you still in college if you're really that good?
All right, we got to go. We're way up against the clock, but we'll continue this conversation on the other side. Blazers draft picks, what they should do, players that are on mock drafts. It's happening this Wednesday, so buckle up. We got a crazy next few days. Get to that next here. Sports Sunday, 1080 The Fan.
This is Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones
overall pick. We have no idea what the hell is going to happen, but
Something awesome, though. We know that much. Go Blazers.
let's take a look at some mock drafts, shall we? What the hell? Why not? This is from ESPN from 3 days ago. Jonathan Givney and Jeremy Wu. At the number 7 overall pick, Donovan Clingan from UConn, the Great White Hope. That would be the third large white man that we have selected over the last, 10 years. So, hey, third time's a charm.
That's what
Myers
they
Leonard
say.
won, didn't work out. Zach Collins the second time, didn't work out, and we gave up draft capital for that. We don't even have to give up draft capital for this guy. I love one of my favorite things from seeing this, too, is people are like, well, the Blazers already have Ayton. Oh, okay, and, I'm sorry, are we competing for a championship with him? Is he... Yeah, he's a great offensive player. He's stepped up his game in the second half of the year, but to me, there is no, Blazers need this. The Blazers, if they get this type of player, it's like, the Blazers need a hell of a lot right now. Don't know if you noticed last year, one of the worst teams in the NBA on all fronts. So the Blazers need great players at all positions. So whether it makes Ayton happy or not, I don't care, all right? Because this team needs a lot of help, and if they feel like Donovan Clingan is the guy at 7, go for it. At 14 in this ESPN draft, Jacoby Walter out of Baylor. Sure. Haven't watched much Baylor this year at all. No, they're kind of injury-riddled, but definitely haven't watched any of his game at all. So, sure, why not? How about Clingan and Zach Edey? Get both the bigs.
Twin Towers, baby.
Let's bring back that old school NBA post play, baby.
I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
No, you're not.
I mean, hey,
Edey can kind of stretch.
if Zach Edey plays anything like he played in college, and this is the thing, like he's a senior, so
the
clearly
best player in college.
Yeah, I'm saying if he plays anything like he did, not even all that, but if he can give you half of what he was able to give you in college, and that's 12 points and 6 rebounds, off the bench or something like that, I think that's a solid pickup. Like, I think a lot of people are looking for home runs, out of the gate, and sometimes it's not like that. So if you got who knew Jokic was going to be Jokic getting drafted in the second round? No one. Like they gave us.
I don't think the Celtics, the Nuggets even.
No, they didn't. They gave us Nurkic so quick. Who they had all the stock in. They gave us Nurkic so quick because they knew what they had in Jokic. Sometimes, man, we don't know, right? And Zach Edey has a type of game because he's a big that he could be effective in this NBA where it's very small ball in a lot of ways. And so you see if you have good bigs, a la a Jokic or something like that down low, you can be really effective as a team. Even somebody like Jonas Valanciunas on every team. Name a team that can't use a Jonas Valanciunas. Everybody can. So, I mean, if you can play something like that, you got a spot in the NBA.
The Ringer, Kevin O'Connor. This was from just about a week ago at number 7. The Blazers select Donovan Clingan. That's another mock draft with the big white guy from UConn coming in. And then at 14, and this name's been linked to the Blazers quite a bit, Tidjane Saloon, I believe, if I'm pronouncing that.
Yeah, from France.
Yeah,
Frenchman.
Another one of the Frenchmen.
I say take him.
Why not?
Listen,
what the hell?
How many players from France haven't worked out in the league?
6'9", 7'1" wingspan. I mean, if
Batum is still playing, his old ass is still in the league.
You want to talk about a player that, or a type of player that the Blazers have not entertained in the draft at all. I give you a 6'9" wing with a 7'1" wingspan. My God.
I'm saying, like, you can use something like that. And like I said, look through the list of Frenchmen that have played in the NBA so far. It's a pretty good list of even guys that are just solid role players for you.
Here is a CBS Sports mock draft. I would like to believe that this guy, I mean, again, the draft hasn't happened, so God only knows what happens, but they have the Blazers taking Jared McCain out of Duke at 14, which I haven't heard him linked to the Blazers like at all.
He's from Duke. He's going to be amazing.
Point guard.
I know they worked him out. Dude can get buckets. He definitely did that in his time during Duke. I remember it. I don't know if it was the Sweet 16 game or the Elite 8. I forget which matchup it was, but he was raining in threes in one game. So he's a shooter, and but he is 6'2". point guard. Probably can play that off guard as well. But us Blazers fans, we love having a 6'2" point guard and a 6'2" shooting guard out there. So
yeah, we definitely have a type.
And I think this the guy that wrote for CBS Sports this mock draft, Kyle Boone, also wants to see Danny Moraine take a header off of a cliff because he has Ron Holland going 7th overall.
I saw that one as well.
Let's do it. Again, I just want to see Danny's reaction if the Blazers end up doing that. And then I just want to see how that goes because that would be quite entertaining if Ron Holland ended up actually being pretty good. But again, I think that his big thing is IQ and knowing when to make the right play. And it seems like he just wants to be a bucket getter and put the ball in my hands. I'm going to go score, whether it's going to happen or not. And that's where it seems like he can be a black hole offensively, is that ball sticks to his hands. So let's see, another mock draft.
I think if you're the Blazers, beggars cannot be choosers right now.
That's what I'm saying.
I think if you're the
whether
Blazers,
it's Ron Holland or anybody else, it's like I don't think it's a whole like, oh, they need this. Like I said, they need a lot.
I don't care about
You're looking
character
at
guys right now.
Years of rebuild, so finding the correct fit it's just get talent, get as much talent as possible. And in this draft, that might be easier said than done. Let's look at another mock draft here, though. This one from June 21st on Bleacher Report, so just a couple days ago. At number 7 overall, they have the Blazers selecting Cody Williams out of Colorado. Very raw, young player. I believe he was injured a little bit during the Pac-12 and college, the NCAA tournament, but Colorado basically started playing so well without him and with him coming off of the bench that there wasn't much of an impact that I saw in the Pac-12 tournament and the NCAA tournament from Cody Williams. Again, very young, brother of Jalen Williams on the Thunder. So, hopefully there's some genes running in that family where Cody ends up turning into a great ball player.
Right? The better one.
Ooh, that's right. There is 2 Jalen Williams.
Yeah, there's Jalen and then there's Jalen
The
Williams.
better one.
The starter.
I was going to say, I think he is
the brother of the starter,
the
Jalen
better
Williams.
one. Yes, correct.
I had to go Jalen and Jalen, at least in my head.
Well,
That's
and
how
I think the
parse
one
out
thing,
the two.
if I'm a Blazer fan, the only thing I want the Blazers to avoid is another 6'1" to 6'3" guard. I feel like right now you've got those in abundance, and if I'm being honest, all 3 of those guards are very, very good, and so you can kind of take your pick from there. But the one thing that you desperately need is another wing defender and somebody that can score, off the dribble, somebody that can score, off the perimeter, and somebody that at least is taller than 6'2".
They got one too many of those guards. They have to trade Anthony Simons, and I'm wondering if you guys think they're going to trade him on draft day. I think there's a possibility, although I'm shocked that in these thousands of mock drafts that we've read by now, like even the ones you're reading right now, there does not seem to be a mention of any draft day trades. It's a little weird.
Hey, I say at least Brogdon's got to go. I mean, I think Simons at this point does not want to go through a rebuild. He's post the end of season press conference. Very much the vibes we were getting from him is that he does not want to go through this and that he wants to be on a winning team and be in a winning place. And so whether that is going with the young guys in Orlando, whatever, I mean, I got to see at least Brogdon go before the season starts. If Simons goes as well, then so be it.
I hate the world of sports. I love it, but I hate it at the same time because
as
this
I
kid.
am on a sports radio station talking about sports.
No. I love it, but it's
sports.
just the absurdity of talking about an organization that literally, 2.5 years ago gave you generational wealth, life-changing money. That's on you. You earned that. You did what you were supposed to do. But just to say that, to this team that because they did love you, Neil O'Shea loved you, wanted to give you that money, then to turn around 2 years later. I just hate the way that we act sometimes.
Things change.
If
If you're in a relationship and it started great and now things are terrible, I don't want to just hang on to it because I'm supposed to or because it's expected of me to do that. He deserves an opportunity. He's been here for 6 years now.
6,
7
something
years,
like that. Yeah,
enough to be enough, almost a decade, enough to be able to say, you know what? If Dame had did this year 7, I'd have been like, I understand. I get it. You deserve your opportunity to go. Instead, Dame stood on, I'm here and I'm not doing this and I would never do this. And anybody that does that is weak. And anybody that does that is running from the grind.
Dame's a superstar.
I can appreciate
Ant is not.
Ant is damn close. Like Ant and Dame has been gone. Ant has been doing his thing. Now, mind you, he was hurt. He was hurt, but name somebody else on this team that can be instant office for you. I know we're against it, but name anybody else on this team, get the ball to, there's a bucket. Like, I think we're just giving up on Ant real quick, but I also understand that he's kind of like, yeah, I might be a little over this, man. I don't want to wait 10, 13 years into my career like Dame before I finally say, I want more for myself. Like, go get it now, young man. I think 7 years is plenty of time to give any job, any relationship, anything that's not working the right way. I think 7 years is plenty of time to give somebody to say, I'm moving on.
And this would be his 7th season going into.
I'm good.
I guess that's my quick point, is that it's not totally not working out. The money, things have worked out. It's just, I want to go chase a ring and be on a decent team. Not everybody gets to win a ring, bro. Like, see Karl Malone, see Charles Barkley.
But the thing about Karl Malone and Charles Barkley is they got a chance to compete for one.
That's fair.
Whether I get to win or not, like that's a moot point. But if I'm Allen Iverson, did I have my chance to get there and win a ring? I did. Sometimes that's enough to get you into the Hall of Fame. Just having a chance to win one. So I'm not mad at him.
All right, we got to take a break because I know Rashad has been absolutely dying to talk about hockey. During every commercial break, he's like, when are we going to get to this? Game 7 of the Stanley Cup is tomorrow, and how the hell did we get here? But first, Schultze, SportsCenter update.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, the final round of the Travelers Championship happening in Cromwell, Connecticut right now. Akshay Bhatia and Scotty Scheffler tied for the lead, both at 19 under and 2 under for the final round through 8 holes. Cameron Young, Tony Finau, and Tom Kim are all tied for third at 18 under. Cameron Young and Tony Finau on 11 right now. Patrick Cantlay and Sung Jae Kim tied for 6th at 17 under. Cantlay a little bit further along at 11. Sung Jae Kim on the 9th right now. In baseball, the first place Mariners getting it done in Miami. They blanked the Marlins 9-0 yesterday. Ryan Bliss and Dom Canzone both had 7 hits between them. Seattle goes for the series win this morning with Bryce Miller and Kyle Tyler on the bump. First pitch at 10:40 a.m. in just a couple of minutes on Root Sports. Just 2 days after his big league debut, Toronto Blue Jays infielder Orelvis Martinez has been suspended 80 games for violating Major League Baseball's performance-enhancing drug policy. And the United States in the Copa America taking on Bolivia this afternoon at 3 p.m. You can catch all that action on Fox. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schultze at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The inside story on the Blazers, Ducks, and Beavers. Danny and Dusty. Weekdays noon to 3 on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
hockey.
Let's do it. Probably didn't know this about me, Joe, but I played hockey for a little bit.
Oh, really?
I did. It got really expensive because I grew, and so it's time
And
to buy new
hockey
pads
is expensive as
and
F anyways.
And it was super far away from Northeast Portland, so couldn't really play no more.
Well, I would say the two most live, amped up places over the last week were the crowds at the Kendrick Lamar concert in L.A., Inglewood specifically, and in Edmonton, because, oh my God, here come the Oilers. They come back from a 3-0 series deficit to the Florida Panthers. They win Game 4 8-1. I think I turned that off at 5-1. I'm like, okay, they're probably not going to score any more than that. Oh no, they did. 8-1 Game 4 victory. Game 5, I believe, was 5-3. Yeah, I was going to say, got a couple empty netters at the end there. And then Game 6, 5-1. I believe was the score of that one. Rashad, you have the scores.
I do. Game 6, 5-1. Very good.
But oh my God, that Edmonton crowd towards the end of that third period, they would play like a song, like a Bon Jovi song or Leanne Rimes or something like that to get the place amped. And then the music would stop because the play would continue. That place was as loud as a venue, sports arena as I've ever heard on TV. Like being able to hear the crowd and their react, like they were absolutely amped up. And thank God that Florida doesn't have to play in that environment for Game 7 because that team looks absolutely shook. They kept showing their faces on the bench on Game 6. That is a team that just, dear God, I want to see Edmonton pull it off because it would be the first Canadian winner in however many, 30 years, whatever the hell it is. But just the way that Florida has crumbled these last few games and how confident Edmonton looks. And also the fact that Edmonton won Game 6 and Connor McDavid didn't even have a point, who is the best hockey player in the world. And it's like, all right, you found out a way how to beat him, but we still beat you 5-1. Like, good luck, Florida. Yeah, it's just, I know there's some betting tickets out there. One on 1080 The Fan, Ken Barkley, who shows up on Dirt and Sprague, who needs Florida to win this. My buddy Tanner, who is a complete gambling degen, he got the Panthers at All-Star break Stanley Cup winners. I want to say at 20-1 odds. Jeez. So he is hoping that they pull it out as well. But for the sake of seeing people absolutely crumble their betting tickets, the fan base crumble for the second year in a row, go Oilers, baby.
Man,
let's do that hockey.
Yeah, no, it's a tale of two different, teams, if we're being real. Like that Panthers team to start the first 3 games, like, and if you looking through Twitter, you're seeing Panthers fans, already kind of congratulate themselves.
Are those a thing?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they are now. Always during the Stanley Cup final is when you're going to find fans. Like, I didn't even know you liked hockey, bro. But yeah, I've been a Florida Panthers fan for 10 years. Like, all of a sudden they come out the woodwork just because hockey is such a lit sport. Like when to actually watch, or if you've never been to a like professional hockey game or even the Winterhawks, like those games go super, super hard. And so, like you said, any place that can get your engine pumping by listening to Leanne Rimes, like it lets you know that this is a different type of sport. And for the first 3 games, the Panthers were pretty dominant outside of the Game 3 where it looked like it could go one way or the other. But then after that, like, you get an 8-1 win if you're the Oilers. Okay, we're in this, but still not sure. Then you come back and win 5-3. Confidence is super high. I'm watching just a little bit of that game. This past, was it Friday? What do you think the game was?
Yeah. Game 6. That was on Friday.
And again, you mentioned that they showed that during the third period, they showed the Panthers on the bench. And it's like, uh-oh. Like this is, I think they know that this is going to be bad. Like this could potentially be really, really bad for them. But now you have to go home and you've got to win in front of your home crowd. And like, I know if you're Drake, you were absolutely hoping that Canada wins. Like you need this W right now if you're Drizzy, but if you're the Panthers, man, you've got to feel, I don't want to say, you're shook. Yeah.
Confidence at Mo, everything is shifted 100% to
they have
Edmonton,
not
like the Oilers. It's just insane.
Your only thing going for you is that the Oilers have scored what? Well, yeah, the first couple games they only scored 1 goal. Like, okay, That's cool. Then they came
They-
back again.
They
and
made up for it in
yeah,
game 4,
and
though.
came back and scored a whole lot more, you know, in your house. So now you just have to protect home, however you do that. But I'm looking at a team in the Panthers that are just, they don't look confident, and they didn't look confident on the bench. So we'll see. I think all eyes will be glued to the one Game 7 that we have left in sports right now.
Yeah, and how about, I mean, the fact that we have major sport of hockey or basketball going this late into the summer. I mean, June 24th.
Yeah.
I'll take it because we're about to get to the dog days of summer, my friend.
Here they come. You love these days, though. It's a lot of golf and baseball for you. Like, those are your two favorite things.
Well, we'll see about golf. Why I missed the show last week is,
we told him.
Yeah, I missed golf, or I missed the show because I tried to go golf on some injured ribs. Do you want me to share how I got those?
I'd
injured
love
ribs?
to know. I thought maybe you fell.
Yeah, we need this story.
All right. Well, we'll do that next. We'll wrap the show up because we're up against it, and I'll inform you of how this exactly happened. So we'll wrap up the show. Sports Sunday next here on 1080 The Fan.
Laurelhurst Market Steakhouse and Butcher Shop is more than just a great place to get dinner or grab your meat.
All right, wrap up the show here. The poll results for are you in any way, shape, or form happy for the Boston Celtics winning the NBA Finals? The winner in this 2-hour time frame, screw all Boston teams.
All right, good
at
job.
39.2%.
Good job. Except for the Patriots. Everybody else.
Love the pettiness. Well,
I didn't know the Patriots were in Boston when they became my team. I didn't know what
technically they're not.
I had no idea what New England was when I was 9 years old.
Second place, yes, they deserved it, 27.8%. Yes, but screw their fans, 20.3%. 12.7%. No, they won enough. To wrap up the show, though, I was out last week because I tried to go golf on some injured ribs, and that was not a smart choice. This was just a week after injuring those ribs. So this is now 2 weeks since I've injured the ribs. You know, just fell through my ceiling. No big deal.
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah. You guys haven't fell through a ceiling before?
Not lately.
I thought that was just kind of a thing that happens to a man
like a
at
rite
some
of passage
point.
thing.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I don't think so. But
everybody.
please, that's not a good start. But
Elaborate.
please, tell me more.
So what was it? You know those attic fans that like they suck the hot air out of the attic, and they, so that was making a very, very loud noise on my house 2 Saturdays ago. And spent the night at the girl's house, came back Sunday, wasn't making as loud of a noise, but it was still noticeable to the point where I'm like, I ain't staying here. I'm not going to be able to go to sleep at night because I can hear it in my house. So call the landlord up. I'm like, what the hell's going on? He goes, I can't make it out there today, but if you go up into the attic, there is a little knob that you can turn on this fan that will basically say, turn on at a higher temperature is what it's saying. I'm like, all right, I think I can do that. So I get up there, get a ladder, hoist myself up in there, and, stepped on some drywall, which is not very supportive. I'm not much of a physical labor guy, haven't really worked
Of course,
on
you got
houses.
very soft hands.
Yes, they are calloused because of my golf grips, if anything. But took one step in and then put another foot on this drywall and went right through. And the saving grace was this shelf that my dad built me when I was like 5 or 6 or something like that. This like desk shelf combo, and it's probably about 5.5 feet tall, and it was directly under where I fell through. So I fell probably about 4 feet and landed like feet first on this shelf and was just standing there, like halfway in the attic, halfway out of the attic, and just created a hole right in the ceiling. So scraped up my shin, scraped up my my stomach, my torso a bit, and that was bruised up. And the ribs, we're going on 2 weeks, and they feel better at times. But again,
Don't sneeze.
Woke up this morning and
Don't fart.
dude,
Yeah.
the sneezing, that is the tough part.
Oh.
And it better be good by Saturday because Joey is out of town, my girl is out of town. So that is just perfect. Hey,
Tom Cruise, risky business.
we're
Let's
ready
go.
for some tea times on Saturday. You ain't got no other obligations. So these things better start showing some progress here soon because, it's go time. It's go time here in a week. So here you go. Never fell through a ceiling, huh?
Nothing to. No, not to my knowledge. I don't believe so.
Again, don't go falling through any ceilings, anybody. Don't stand on drywall.
I'll do my best.
Don't stand on drywall. Not very supportive. But everybody out there, have a good Sunday. Have a good rest of your week. And we're getting close to the 4th of July here soon. But more importantly, have a good draft day on Wednesday.
Hey, let's go Blazers.
Come hang out at 10 Barrel Pub in the Pearl District on Wednesday with Danny and Dusty, Isaac and Sook and 1080 The Fan. I might make an appearance. Who knows? But for everybody out there, have a great week. Have a great draft day. Jordan, thank you as always.
Yeah, love you guys.
Rashad,
fun.
Thank you as always.
Indeed.
And have a great Sunday. Peace.
Auto accident? Need a loaner today? Call Lafe's Auto Collision Centers. We can get you into a replacement vehicle as early as today. At Lafe's, we work with all insurance companies.